Good afternoon, everybody. Just give me 1 second when to get started. This is Fausto. Just hold on one second. All right, guys, let me just do a quick audio check. Can everyone hear me loud and clear? James, good to see you. Eric, Tom, Louis, Jeff, good to see you. Welcome, guys. Welcome to Closing Bell. It is a brand new year, 2016, and we are having a little bit of a correction, but great trading in the market lately, and they said the worst start ever in the stock market. Well, for us as traders, you know, volatility is where we make our money. So regardless if it goes up or down, we just don't want to go sideways, left to right. And to do that successfully, it all starts being educated to know how to trade the market. But you can't be, no matter how educated you are, you can't be a good trader without having the right execution system. And Cyber Trading University has teamed up with TradeStation as a premier execution system to go out there and trade. And you know, we use it in our trading room. We're very, very fluent with it. It works unbelievable. They've been around for a long time. I love their commercials. But the funny part is they make perfect sense because you're only as good as the platform you have. You know, I kind of compare trading platforms as like racing cars. You know, for some of you, I don't know if you know this, but we did sponsor the Ferrari team. And you know what? To be competitive, you know, if you don't have the right car, you're not going to win. I don't care how great of a driver you are. You know, you could be the greatest analyst in the world, but if you don't have the right execution system, it's not going to work. And TradeStation recognizes Cyber Trading University as a premier school in a way that they also, John's going to tell you a little bit more of the promotions that they're going to be giving you, because your brokerage firms realize that if they have an educated client, an educated customer, what ends up happening is that you'll be a client forever, because too many people just blow up their accounts. They start out, they learn the hard way, and the hard way is losing money. And that's why TradeStation's here today. And I want you to hear what they have to say, because it is a great platform. We use it very well, and and we had John Milko come here today to kind of educate you guys a little bit more about it, how to utilize the system. But it's one of the best platforms that we use, and once again, he's going to go over the details of it, and most importantly, he's going to talk about the benefits of it, what you're going to get with it, and also being a student of Cyber Trading University, he's going to tell you a little bit more of a tuition reimbursement that they gave you also, and some benefit packages with it. All right, so I don't want to take too much time from John. I want to kind of blow up his all his great ammo. He's going to tell you all the good stuff. So let him tell you himself. So let me pass it over to you, John. John, hey, welcome. How are you, John? John, you there? Just doing a quick audio check. All right, let's hold on. Let's see if we can get John on the mic on. He was just on about a second ago. All right, just 1 second, ladies and gentlemen. We're just going to get John's audio. John, looks like you logged in twice. Could you log out and log back in? That's good. That's your issue.
I've logged out and logged back in. Is everyone able to hear me?
There you go, John. Thank you very much.
Oh,
All right, guys.
perfect. Sorry about that, guys. I hope it wasn't too much trouble. I can back up if you'd like. I'll go back to the beginning and run through the first couple slides pretty quick. So I'm John Milko, an account executive at TradeStation. Looks like the volume is working much better now, so everyone should be able to hear me. Just this first slide is just showing you my contact info. My first initial J, last name Milko, Milko at TradeStation.com. I have both an 800 number and a 312 number. Both are direct to me. And I'm available from 7:30 a.m. Central till 5:30 p.m. Central, occasionally a little bit later, depending on what kind of day is going on. And I'm the primary representative here that works with CTU folks. Over the past 6 months, I've really started to increase in that role and am fully aware how to get you set up with both the specific screens that CTU offers, as well as beyond that, the proper data feeds in order to set up your TradeStation platform to fully take advantage of what you're learning at CTU. And just to give you a quick background on me, I've been at TradeStation for a little over a year. Prior to that, I had some other jobs in corporate finance, and from the very beginning, starting in 2007 through 2011, I worked at the Chicago Board of Trade. I traded currency futures options on the British pound currency, and I was a self-employed local trader there, so I do have some trading knowledge. Don't have a ton of background in the day trading stock world, such as you folks, but you know, as far as technical jargon and all that, I'm going to be pretty well versed in what you're learning at CTU, and hopefully be able to translate that to what you want to do with TradeStation. So once again, here we go with my personal info. Going to move on to the next slide, which is going to be some risk disclosures about this presentation. Give you a second to read over that pretty quick. Crux of this is basically saying that there is inherent risk with trading. Be aware of it. And ultimately, you know, this presentation, and you'll see later, I'm not presenting any sort of strategies or anything like that. I'm solely presenting just some basics about TradeStation, as well as some background about TradeStation. And then lastly, the referral offer we have available to CTU folks. Going to click over to the next slide, which is going to be an additional risk disclosure. And I'll give you a few seconds to read over that. Okay. Once again, just additional risk disclosures. Being a brokerage, this is all, any sort of presentation we provide must include these risk disclosures. So just want to get those out of the way before we can start talking about TradeStation in full. Okay, so why TradeStation? What sets us apart from our competitors out there in the trading industry? So just to give you the full background, we started as solely a charting software. About 30 to 35 years ago in the early 80s, TradeStation was developed as a charting software and research tool, no brokerage piece whatsoever. Had a lot of success with that, to the point where customers were continually asking, why can I not execute my trades through TradeStation? I love the software. So around 2000, 2001, we purchased a brokerage and added that piece. So now we're offering, the full service, the charting, the tools, as well as you can actually execute your trades through TradeStation directly. So we've been doing that for only about a little over 10 years, about 10 to 14 years, somewhere in that range. And as part of that, we basically have become the number one in the industry when it comes to day trading tools, equities day trading tools. I believe this is primarily why CTU chooses to utilize our software, is they see consistently that we're ranked ahead of our competitors in terms of the tools we offer for a day trader. Within that, we also have competitive rates and commissions, obviously very important. And then our software, and this is a big thing, is the education and training piece. We do offer free platform customization sessions for all clients, as well as hundreds of hours of education and training. That education and training will be available on demand via our TradeStation University, which I'll provide a link for at the end of this conversation. Here's just an example of the awards that we continually win. You'll notice some Barron's. Basically, it looks like the last 5 years now, we've been rated as the top for day trading tools. Investors Business Daily, continually winning there last 3 years. Stocks and Commodities, and stockbrokers.com. So as far as picking a brokerage, there are a lot of things to consider. There's cost, execution, and then technology. We tend to be rated in the top of the industry for all three. So that's just something to consider as you're working with CTU and making your choice on a broker. TradeStation, as you can see by the awards we win, consistently is rating as one of the top. So what does TradeStation offer? Now, obviously, you guys are concentrating on the equities world, so we don't really need to discuss futures and forex too much. If you're interested in that, more than happy to talk about it one-on-one. We also offer custom market analysis tools and indicators. You can manually change those within your own TradeStation platform. And lastly, we are a direct access broker, meaning when you place a trade with TradeStation, it's not going through a market maker. It's being placed directly into the market. So speed of execution. I know this is a little bit small. If anyone wants this presentation emailed to them afterwards, feel free to follow up with me and I'll provide this slide specifically. The crux of this is TradeStation's speed of execution, and it's hard to see on this chart, but if you could look closely, the industry average is going to be in red. TradeStation will be in blue on the right two charts. You'll see that TradeStation is continually outpacing our competitors as far as speed of execution and price improvement per share. Important when you're making, many trades throughout the day. That adds up over time. TradeStation speed of execution ultimately is a benefit to people who trade through TradeStation. All right, so market data. If any of you are using any sort of back testing tools, TradeStation has market data dating back farther than many of the exchanges themselves. They've actually come to us and attempted to buy our backlog of data. So if you're ever looking to do any sort of back testing, we have the tools for it as well as the data for it. This is just an example of our historical market data and how back it dates back. In many cases, 20 plus years for the intraday, and then for the daily, in some cases up to 61 years. All right, so here's the part on commissions. You have two options when setting up your account with TradeStation. Bear in mind, and I'll be talking about your referral bonus in a second, but bear in mind, I'm just going to be speaking to the retail commissions you would pay, not taking into account your rebates that would be received at the end of every month. One commission plan is 1 penny per share, meaning if you traded 100 shares, you would pay $1. If you traded 500 shares, you'd pay $5. Beyond your first 500 shares in an order, it would drop to 0.6 of a penny per share, meaning if you traded 1,000 shares, as you can see right here, it would be $8. Now, that's not counting your commission discount, meaning at the end of every month, because you're a CTU referral, you would also be receiving 20% back in the form of a rebate to be placed into your account in the next month. So the effective rate on that 100 share trade would actually be 80 cents. The effective rate on that $5 trade would actually be $4. So that's kind of a nice benefit we offer to CTU referral students. And here's an example of that. Depending upon which type of CTU subscription you have is how I set up your rebate, where I actually add a code to your account providing you that rebate on an ongoing basis up to the dollar value of your CTU subscription. So for example, if you spent $100 in commissions in June, your account will be credited with $20 in early July. The credit is deducted from the total rebate amount. So if you're a bronze subscriber and you have a $2,500 rebate, you spend $100 in June, you get $20 back in July, your rebate drops to $24.80. And that will go on, so on and so forth for the life of your account. Additionally, being a CTU referral, you get a waiver of our account service and radar screen fees for the life of your account. The standard retail customer off the street potentially would be paying $100 a month to access our software. As a CTU referral, you get that complimentary. The true benefit of this is it gives you time to get fully acclimated with TradeStation with no expectation to trade. Get fully comfortable with our tools before you start placing live trades. Right here on line 3, should you want to get started with an application, there's a link. Once again, here's my contact info. And then I'd like to speak for a few seconds here about a couple other things we have available to CTU and how I personally can assist you. One is setting you up your data package. So being a CTU referral, I'm comfortable with what data you're looking to get, as well as I'm comfortable with how to establish and get you in the right place as far as the CTU trading templates that they provide you and how to get those set up. In many cases, it actually won't be me assisting you with that. I'll be setting you up with one of our tech reps, but I know how to navigate that process. And then in terms of the data package, I know specifically what data feeds to turn on and then provide a 90-day complimentary access to those. Beyond that point, the CTU data package is going to cost you $24 per month. This includes NASDAQ Total View. Now it looks like we have a couple questions here, one about quarterly or yearly charts. We can definitely provide quarterly and yearly charts. It would be a matter of contacting someone in tech support to be able to WebEx into your system and show you how to change the dates and the time frame on your charts, but we can definitely help you with that. If you want to email me directly, I can get you in touch with someone. And then Deb F has asked, what about Diamond subscription? I'm not entirely sure or familiar with what she means by that. So Deb, Diamond. Okay, so Diamond subscription. Now that would just be an additional refund beyond the 10,000 gold level. Just let me know what subscription you have with CTU and I can establish you the correct rebate amount. Now, I do see Mark has asked about services in Canada. So unfortunately, there are some restrictions on Canadian accounts. It's actually based upon provincial law. Currently, TradeStation can only offer futures accounts in Canada, and even within that, it's limited to residents of Ontario. If you wish to use our platform in Canada, you're more than welcome to subscribe to our platform. It would literally be just a data subscription. It wouldn't be any sort of execution or brokerage service. And at this current time, I don't foresee that changing. But if you're a CTU referral, I'd be more than happy to help you get set up with that subscription. Actually, there's a number of customers looking for that type of service, I'll even inquire and see what kind of potential discount we can offer on our subscription price for CTU referrals. David K has asked, why not offer a free SIM account? So, TradeStation's mindset is that we offer an incredible amount of support for our tools. As such, we do not offer complimentary SIM accounts because it ends up putting a large strain on our tech department as well as our client services department for folks that aren't interested in actually trading. As such, we offer simulated accounts paired with your brokerage account. In addition to that, what we do offer to CTU folks is if you complete an application, because prior to completing an application, we'd have no ability to even provide you a simulated account. But if you do complete an application, we will offer you access to 30 days of kind of a trial TradeStation account, 30 days from the date that the application is completed, for you to check out TradeStation without actually funding your account. Beyond that 30-day period, the account would have to be funded in order to continue with TradeStation. Mark L has asked, how much would the platform cost? And Mark is offering about Canada, or inquiring about Canada. So our subscription account, and typically the folks that use this subscription account are institutional traders that want to have access to our charting tools, or folks in countries that we don't offer services. It starts at $249.95 per month, and then you would add your additional data fees on top of that. So the account does vary, but the base platform cost is $249.95 per month. Once again, I'm going to inquire if there is enough interest. I would inquire with management to see if there would be any sort of offer we can provide to CTU referrals in terms of the subscription account. All right, so one other thing I'd like to provide, just to give you an example of TradeStation's web tutorials. I know with CTU, you're trading via the matrix. So just to give you an example of how our tutorials work, I'm going to send you a link right here for lesson 3 on order entry, specifically the second part of that lesson on the matrix. So you can see all our web tutorials, of which there are 12 currently. Each one is broken down into different topics. You can jump to specific topics based upon name and time in the video. So you'll see within lesson 3, there's actually going to be 3 different sections regarding the matrix. One on how to place orders, one on how to place trailing stops, and one how to place order cancels order orders, OCOs. So you can see Ron B is familiar with our web tutorials. So these are a great tool to familiarize yourself with TradeStation. This is quite honestly how I taught myself TradeStation, just by going through our web tutorials. There's something like 15 hours of them available. We actually have new ones being recorded daily that will be released in the next couple weeks. And then outside of that, as I mentioned previously, once you've gone through these tutorials and set up your TradeStation account, if you are a customer with a funded account, we can set you up with a 1-hour customization call, where it'd be a dedicated hour-long appointment with someone from our platform services group. They would call you directly. You would be logged into your TradeStation account, and they would be able to actually WebEx into your platform, take over your mouse, and show you. Basically, you can ask them a question and they can show you. The benefit of that is these are folks that are on the platform all day long, every day. They know the ins and the outs, and they can take what you're asking and translate it into TradeStation language and show you how to do it. Some of the best resources we have available in the company are those folks, and getting an hour-long call with them is hugely valuable. Once again, that's available to people that have established an account and have funded the account and then gone through these 12 web tutorials. Once that's done and you've developed some questions, we're more than happy to get you set up with one of those 1-hour customization calls. So just to kind of wrap up, my information here is available, jmilko@tradestation.com, direct phone number 312-803-3836, and I'm in the Central Time Zone, available from 7:30 a.m. to 5:30 p.m. If you're looking to establish an account with TradeStation, please get in touch. If you're already established with TradeStation and you have additional questions, you can contact your direct rep if it's not me. And if for any reason you feel that you're not getting the response you need from your direct rep, let me know and I'll get you in the right place. Thanks for joining us today. Thank you to the folks at CTU for giving me this opportunity to speak. And I'll be available for the next roughly 2 hours today. If you need anything additional, get in touch with me. Thanks.